I don't even know how to start this without sounding like the dumbest guy alive, but I guess that's exactly what I was. This whole situation still feels like a fever dream, like something you'd read online and think, nah, no one's that manipulative.
But it happened. To me.
I, 28M, was with this girl, we'll call her Erica, 27F, for about 2 years. At first, everything was amazing. She was sweet, funny, supportive, and honestly, I thought I hit the jackpot. We met through mutual friends, started hanging out, and things escalated quickly.
Maybe too quickly, in hindsight.
The first year was almost perfect. I was in love, she seemed to be too. We traveled together, got a cat, even talked about moving in permanently, though technically, she already kind of lived with me. She had a place with roommates, but stayed at mine 90% of the time.
I didn't mind at first.
But slowly, little things started feeling off. She'd get overly emotional about the smallest stuff. If I didn't answer a text within a few minutes, she'd call 5 times. If I wanted a night to myself or time with friends, she'd cry and ask if I was losing feelings for her. At first, I thought she was just sensitive, or maybe had abandonment issues, and I tried to be supportive. Then the guilt trips started. Anytime I wanted space or disagreed with her, she'd pull out something dramatic. Like saying I was emotionally abusive for not putting her first in every situation. One time I had to cancel dinner because my mom had an emergency and she straight up told me I never made her a priority. It got worse when I brought up taking a short break. I told her I felt smothered, that I needed a little breathing room to figure things out. That was the first time she pulled the pregnancy card. She told me she was late and thought she might be pregnant. I remember sitting there on the edge of the bed, feeling like my brain had short-circuited. We'd been careful, used protection religiously. I asked her if she'd taken a test. She said no, but she just knew. I offered to go get one and she refused. Said it was too early and that she didn't want to jinx it.
So I stayed.
For weeks, she kept saying she was nauseous, tired, craving weird foods. I even caught myself Googling early pregnancy symptoms to make sure I wasn't just being paranoid. Every time I suggested getting an actual test or seeing a doctor, she'd make excuses. It's too soon, I want to wait a bit, or I'm scared of what it'll say. I should have trusted my gut. One night, I finally brought up taking the test again, and she exploded. Said I didn't believe her, accused me of thinking she was a liar, started crying uncontrollably, and threatened to leave. I ended up apologizing. Me. For asking a basic question. Eventually, after about 6 weeks of this emotional roller coaster, she told me she had a miscarriage. She came into the living room with red, puffy eyes and said it had happened naturally earlier that morning. I didn't know what to say. I held her while she cried, told her I was there for her, and tried my best to comfort her.
But something felt off.
There were no doctor visits, no medical details, no real physical symptoms. Just vague answers and more crying. A few days later, I found a receipt in the trash for a sushi restaurant and 2 cocktails, dated during the week she was supposedly pregnant. I asked her about it. She said she was trying to act normal, and didn't want to worry me. That she was allowed to have fun even during hard times.
I didn't push. Again. Months went by. Things got shakier between us.
I started emotionally checking out, and I think she noticed. That's when the second pregnancy happened. This time she told me she took a test and it was positive. She even showed it to me. Just a single stick with 2 pink lines. I remember feeling like I was going to throw up. Not because I was scared of being a dad, but because something in me knew this wasn't real. It felt like a rerun of a bad show I couldn't turn off. I asked if we could go to the doctor together. She said she already had an appointment, but it was just a checkup, and I didn't need to come. She showed me a blurry photo of a supposed ultrasound a week later. But it looked weird. Like she printed it off Google. So I reverse image searched it.
And there it was. Second result.
A generic stock photo of an ultrasound used on a parenting blog. I can't describe the way my stomach dropped. It was like being sucker punched by reality. I waited a couple days, trying to figure out what to do. Eventually, I sat her down and asked again, calmly, if she was really pregnant.
She doubled down.
Swore up and down that it was real, that she was scared, that I was being cold and distant, and how could I question her again after what she went through last time? I showed her the ultrasound image.
She froze, didn't say a word.
Just stared at it for what felt like 10 minutes.
Then she snapped.
Said I was a psycho for spying on her, accused me of violating her privacy, and started packing her things. That was the end of it, or so I thought. A few weeks later, I started getting messages from mutual friends. Erica had told everyone I abandoned her during a miscarriage, that I was emotionally abusive, and even hinted that I might have cheated.
Some people believed her.
Others knew better. But the damage was done. My reputation in our little social circle was nuked. I didn't respond publicly.
I didn't post about it. I just shut down. Moved to a new place. Got therapy.
I haven't heard from her since, though a friend recently told me she pulled a similar pregnancy story with her new boyfriend.
No idea how that ended.
Sometimes I still catch myself wondering if any part of our relationship was real. If she ever actually cared about me, or if I was just a convenience, someone to cling to when she felt insecure.
The worst part?
I wanted to be a dad someday. And now, I don't know if I'll ever trust someone enough to get to that point again.